Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is your place for entertainment headlines, where we talk about all the live upcoming movie news of the day, including Alien Romulus. It arrives in theaters this weekend, guys. Are you going to go out and see it? It's a good movie. I went out to see it last night. I saw it, and it was like refreshing. It was refreshing because they made an Alien movie without the Ripley storyline, and it worked. And it borrowed themes of both Alien and Aliens. So we'll talk about that. What else do we got on the cooker for today? We've got Kevin Costner's Horizon got a streaming date. Masters of the Universe cast Tila. Beetlejuice is tracking for a huge September opening. And then we've got some trailers for The Substance and Amber Alert. Oh, fascinating. All right. Well, we start off today's show by talking about Alien Romulus that debuted, well, last night, but for most people today. Alien Romulus debuts with an 88% by fans on the tomato meter, so the overall consensus seems to be that a lot of people like it, including myself. I thought this was a fairly good movie. Now, is it Shakespeare? Is it the next coming of what these movies should be? Maybe. I don't know. Richard Roper weighs in, says he likes it. A film that has a cool and retro kind of 1980s vision of the future that feels authentic to the timeline. It does, because they use a lot of the technology, right? That was more along the lines of like the first Alien movie. Now, this movie pays homage to a lot of the other Alien movies. So if you know your Alien lore, like what happened with Prometheus and what Weyland-Yutani was trying to do and why they wanted the weapons, well, why they wanted the aliens in the first place, they draw on all of that, and that's really cool. And the android this time, played out by David Johnson here, does a fantastic job. So is the movie cut and dried cardboard? No, because what I mean here is that normally, okay, here's the characters. They're all going to be fodder and they're all going to die or whatever. We don't need to know that much about them, but we do. We get to know some of them. Well, maybe not all of them. Some of them, yeah, some of them have to be fodder. You know that. But I like how the movie transitions and pivots from being like a slow kind of burn to becoming a little bit like Aliens. But the visuals in this are absolutely striking. The visual effects in this are cool, and it comes with a few surprises in here where you're like, okay, well, we know that it's taking place in the universe, the Alien universe, between Alien and Aliens. Are there going to be some cameos in here? And indeed, there are some cameos in Alien Romulus that I was not expecting to pop up. That makes sense in the long run when you go out and see the movie. But overall, the cast did fairly well, led by Kaylee Spaney. David Johnson there, as I said, plays the android. It's those two. Those are the backbone, right? Those are the ones that are driving it. And they establish characters and characters' motivations rather quickly, which is something that you need to do in a movie like this. So I was like watching it and just having this big, huge smile on my face, kind of like, I love this universe. I love the tone. I love the feel. I love the dread that you feel in this, because it's kind of like, yeah, it's a little claustrophobic because we're on the Romulus space station, but then you're like, what's going on? What were they doing on this ship? This is like weird. Is David going to show up here in a moment? I don't remember seeing Michael Fassbender in the list, but it almost makes sense that he may or should maybe show up. But Alien Romulus, Kaylee Spaney is awesome. As I said, the rest of the cast, Isabella Merced is okay, R.C. Renault, some of them have to be fodder, but it's a very small cast. If you go to the IMDb now, guys, you you get somewhat of a spoiler in there. So I apologize. I didn't want to spoil things, but it's just Fede Alvarez. He delivered, man. He delivered, and that's good news because I really like this movie. Let's go over and see what some of the fans were saying about this. As a fan of the Alien franchise, Hugh says, I read about the timeline that Romulus exists in, and it was spot on. If they only knew about the xenomorph that they are going to encounter, very entertaining. Yeah, being an avid fan of the Alien franchise, it could have been better. There were too many plot holes, unanswered questions, inconsistencies. You can at the special effects, so somebody didn't like it. But that's probably just in the minority. My only critique is that perhaps the alien gestation period, when it's face hugger, that happens really fast. But then when you think about the first Alien movie, when it was on Kane or whatever, yeah, that moved pretty fast too, right? Except it was on his face for a lot longer, right? So it's kind of like, okay, you could stretch things with the black goo, which ties things into the Prometheus and stuff like that. And this is such an awesome movie, man. I want to go back and watch it again. That's the way that I feel about Alien Romulus. So, did you guys go and see it this weekend? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. And if you want me to talk spoilers, maybe towards the end of the show we can. But it was just fun. Fede Alvarez delivers. And I think that looking at the weekend's box office from last weekend, Deadpool and Wolverine was 53 million. It had a 44% drop. Expect Deadpool and Wolverine to be around 25 to 30 million this weekend. So can Alien Romulus best 30 million? I think so. I think it's going to be 35 to 40, and it will be number one. And then Deadpool and Wolverine. And then it ends with Us will retain this third spot. And then I think it'll just be Twisters. And then I think Despicable Me 4 will leapfrog Borderlands and shove Borderlands out of the top 5. That's the way I'm forecasting it. So Alien Romulus number 1, Deadpool and Wolverine number 2, It Ends With Us number 3, Twisters number 4, and Despicable Me number 5 is what I'm prognosticating for the weekend's box office. It's possible maybe that It Ends With Us will leapfrog Deadpool and Wolverine, because when you look at the dailies for this week, It Ends With Us has actually been coming in a lot higher than Deadpool and Wolverine on the day-to-day. And It Ends With Us is that Blake Lively movie. Now, I went out and saw it on Tuesday, and I like this movie. It's a good, solid movie. 57% by critics, 92% by the audience. I'm not going to weigh in with that controversy or whatever it is. It's not often a motion picture makes me physically ill. So somebody didn't like it. So that person, without even knowing her past, that quote makes me feel like all she cares about is that fluff piece that was out there that was trying to, I don't know, inject some kind of weird poison into the ether about Blake Lively and the whole approach to this movie or something like that. But I liked it. Beautiful movie, something different. They loved it. So the audience liked It Ends With Us a lot more. And it's about an abusive relationship, but it's kind of weird because you don't really get into that abusive relationship until like the latter half of the movie. But what it's trying to do, and I thought it did fairly effective, is that it was trying to show how people slide into it and they don't even realize that they're doing it, right? That they start with the emotional abuse first. Like, what are you doing there? You shouldn't have gone there. Why didn't you tell me that you were there? That kind of stuff, right? And then once you will start allowing yourself to get into that and you say, okay, well, you're my partner, so you're allowed to say that. It's not like that, right? You should not allow yourself to go down that road. Yeah, you're going to have arguments and stuff like that. You're going to have disagreements. But in the end of the day, you still love each other and you don't want to attack each other to hurt each other, right? Anyway, it's also got this beautiful duo story timeline where she's younger, that goes along parallel with the main story. And I really like the way that that went, because while she's in this relationship now, you're like, well, why do we keep on flashing back to this other story where it's like about like one of her first loves, right? And then when it comes around full circle and you're watching how that story fits into the present timeline, you're like, huh, okay, I like that. I like how this is going. I like the direction of this. And this is a story where, yeah, some of the guys are buttheads, but then not all of them. There's some really good dudes in here. So it's not like an attack on masculinity or anything. It's more of a critique of how people slide into these kind of situations where it's like, wait a minute, you were emotionally abusing me way before this, and now all of a sudden, yeah, we had an argument. I fell down the stairs, but then, no, wait, you pushed me. It was like, wait, yeah, it's like that kind of stuff, right? And it's like, slowly but surely, she's got to come out, and she does. And I felt like this movie, It Ends With Us, is totally worth seeing in the theater. Blake Lively delivers. Justin Baldoni plays Ryle, and Hassan Minaj. Brandon Sklenar plays Atlas. Good acting, good story, good pacing. What is this Justin Baldoni? He's vaguely familiar. I wanted to check if he was in Madame Web. Was he the bad guy in Madame Web? No. Who was the bad guy in Madame Web? I gotta check that out, because he looks vaguely familiar. He looks almost similar to him. Is it Tahar Rahim? Is that who I'm thinking of? Yeah, that's the bad guy. Okay, so no, I was getting confused. All right. But speaking of Madame Web, just to tail it back to the Alien movie there to close things out, Isabella Merced that says that Madame Web failure left a sad taste in her mouth. I like Isabella Merced. She was fine in the Alien Romulus movie. Actually, I thought she was the better part of Madame Web. I know that I was watching it for Sydney Sweeney, but she caught my eye too. She's a good actress, and she delivers both, I think, in Madame Web and Alien Romulus. Good actress. Keep your eye out for her. But so's Kaylee Spaney. She's awesome. All right. So that's the way that the weekend is shaping up, guys. Are you going to go out and see any of these movies? Are you going to go see Alien Romulus? Let me know if you are in the comments below, and we will talk about it. We'll talk about some spoilers and stuff like that if you want to. But let's move on to some other headlines. Things that have been going on. Oh, and one last thing. It Ends With Us. The soundtrack. Good soundtrack. Alien Romulus also has some really good soundtrack, too. Because Alien Romulus uses themes from the other movies, which is cool. It's like little Easter egg peppering in there, and it's like, oh. Again, one of the many things that put a big smile on my face. But It Ends With Us as a good soundtrack as well. Of course, it's got a signature song in there because you know that Blake Lively's friends with Tay-Tay. So yeah, you get to see some Tay-Tay in there. You don't see her shaking her stuff or anything like that. But you know that I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, so when her music came on, I was like, yeah, no, I'm on board. It Ends With Us. Good soundtrack. What is it? My Tears Ricochet was her song. But as you can see, Fatboy Slim, Ethan Kane, who else is in here? Lana Del Rey. Good soundtrack. All right, where are we at? Beetlejuice. It's tracking for one of the biggest openings in September with a possible $80 million, say the Hollywood prognosticators of the future. It's tracking for an $80 million opening September 6th. So we're 3 weeks away? 3 weeks away. Suggesting 65 to 75 million. Now, that's big. That is big for a September opening. And it is possible because I have been liking the trailers and I like the premise, and I just want to see Michael Keaton back as Beetlejuice, so it's possible that it could make that amount of money. Topping that list for 2017 was It with 123 million. I know it's not going to make 123 million, but if it did, I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm thinking more along the lines of, I think 80 million is even a little bit pushing it. I'm thinking maybe 50 to 60, which still would be good for September. But it'll have some help because I don't think September is big with releases. So it'll have a little bit of breathing room like Deadpool and Wolverine had. Let me pull up my release schedule here for 2024's September. All right, July, August. So, Toronto Film Festival until starts the 5th. September 6th is the Friday. So that's the Friday that I want to be in for Midnight Madness, right? For TIFF. We'll have to see how that goes. Beetlejuice, the front room. I'll be right there. 4:30 movie is the next week after that. Speak No Evil is another horror movie. Killer's Game. 4:30 is that Kevin Smith movie. I don't know if that's a wide release, though. It appears to be. I'll be checking it out. And I hear good things about My Old Ass. Aubrey Plaza. I hear that this one is one that if I can see in the art house theater, it's worthwhile seeing. September 20th has Bagman, Never Let Go, that Halle Berry creature feature. Superman and Transformers 1, but that's not the same audience, right? Transformers 1 is not the big same audience as Beetlejuice. And then September 27th, you got Lee. That's that Kate Winslet war picture taker photographer movie. Megalopolis is the one I want to see with Francis Ford Coppola putting his own money into it. Wild Robot is another kids movie. Wild Robot and Transformers 1 back to back there at the end of the summer. You think they would have preferred to have moved one to this month, beginning of this month, so you could still have a full month of kids out of school, but that's a weird release schedule. I don't understand that. And then, of course, October is Joker. So, yeah, I think Beetlejuice has some wiggle room in there. Speak No Evil will take some of the people away the week after. But pretty much, yeah, that's the biggest one, I would say. So you guys think that it has the possibility of making that much money? Maybe. If it does, it's good. That'll be good. I hope it does. I'm a big fan of the property, and it's going to be cool to see Jenna Ortega injected into this universe. Injected. Guys, you know I'm a big Masters of the Universe fan, and it appears that Camila Mendes nabs key role as Tila in Amazon's He-Man movie with Nicholas Galitzine. It's Galitzine. No, it's Galitzine. Galitzine. I don't know. Guys, I don't really care. I'm sorry. I do try to learn how to pronounce these people's names, but I got roasted for saying it's Galitzine and it's Galitzine. Hey. Anyway, he's our He-Man, and now we've got our Tila with Camila Mendes, who's from Riverdale. So I never watched Riverdale, so I can't tell you of her acting qualities. She doesn't have the red hair. Oh, whatever. Put a wig on her. Lots of people wear wigs in movies and you don't even realize it. So they'll fix that. Speaking of red hair, when the hell is that Red Sonja movie supposed to be coming out? For God's sakes. Remember, that was shot a long time ago. When the heck is Red Sonja coming out? It says 2024. Released 2024. So this movie, I know it's done. In 2023, it's quoted as saying out first or second quarter in 2024. A teaser trailer debuted, and then we saw nothing else since. Sorry for this small digress, but this movie's just sitting in the can and nobody's doing anything with it. There's no marketing, there's no release date. What the heck's going on with that? But we know Masters of the Universe is got a release date, and we've got two of our big cast. So it's going to be released June 5th, 2026. He-Man is. I hope it works, man. But, and I'm with Harloff in this, that this is like Star Wars meets like what, Blade Runner or something like that, or, Lord of the Rings mixed with Star Wars. Yes, Masters of the Universe is something that I grew up with. It's got, not legions, but it's got fan bases ranging from the very young now to my age, right? So it's just like Transformers, it's just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you do it right, it can be a billion-dollar franchise if you do it right. But what we've learned in the past is that studio executives just don't seem to understand this property. And you can see He-Man and Teela fighting there. I think that's Kevin Smith's version. But you get the impression that they just don't get it. So when you got the script and you're like, okay, this is the story, we're going with it, then studio executives don't seem to understand it, so they get their own ideas and they say, no, change it so it looks like this. Studio meddling has like this cloud hanging over this property in spades. It's like, just let them make the Masters of the Universe movie the way that it would appeal to the widest audience, not just the way that Transformers 1 appeals to the smaller, younger youths demographic, because Transformers should be able to appeal to every group, right? Anyway, that's the same way that Masters of the Universe goes. So, Camila Mendes, He-Man, Teela, fine. We'll have to see how that goes. Kind of racy there on our Instagram. I never looked at it. I'm kind of curious now. Yeah, so she's got Oh, mercy. Do guys do that? Do guys post pictures of themselves like that? Oh, I guess they must, right? I don't know. Whatever. No. Anyway, next. Oh my God, Hollywood Reporter, what's going on? Kevin Costner's Horizon gets max streaming date for August 23rd. Oh, what a shame. My Max subscription just ran out today. No. Horizon is one that I'll watch both parts when both parts are out. But I'm not rushing to it. And it kind of sucks because I like Kevin Costner making Westerns. I just didn't want to sit in the theater for 3 hours. How about that? No? Yes? And then it came out in a weekend where I was just busy watching other stuff in the theater. You don't have money to watch like 3 or 4 movies in a row. Wait a minute, did I watch Strangers Chapter 1 instead of that? I think I might have. Anyway, it remains to be seen. I'm sure that if Chapter 1 is going to be on Max, then they're just going to release Part 2 on Max. Because Horizon Part 2 was supposed to be coming out in September as well, guys. But it got pulled, right? Because Horizon bombed. Nobody went out to see it. Next. Rocky star Carl Weathers to receive one of Hollywood's highest honors. May he rest in peace. Yeah, it sucks that he passed on, man. Because he seemed like he was in good shape. He was doing well with a bit of a resurgence with The Mandalorian and stuff. Actor Carl Weathers to be honored posthumously with star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, August 29th. Good. That's awesome. And when you hear reports of him behind the scenes and stuff, that he seemed like he was always just like a good dude. He would engage with fans. He would talk with fans. He would work the crowd. He knew how to work the crowd. He was a bit like his character from Rocky in that Apollo, where he could just like, he'd work it up. He knew what to do. He knew what to do. Him and Predator there too, yeah. Predator is still one of my favorite action movies by far. Grief Karga. Awesome. Kudos, man. His own Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame there. Next. So this story came up in a couple of trades today. Marvel reveals reason X-Men 97 creator Bo DeMaio was fired. Showrunner fires back. Yeah, there was some behind-the-scenes controversy with the showrunner. He did first season or something, and then he badmouthed them or something, didn't he? And then they're like, we don't need you for the second season. It's like, oh, whatever. Storm, Gambit, Rogue, Wolverine. Don't know who that guy is. Sorry. Anyway, a few hours later, Marvel Studios released a statement regarding DeMaio's firing due to an internal investigation said to be an egregious nature. Well, yeah. While no cause of termination has been surfaced, it involved sexual misconduct. Oh, so there you go. Yeah. No, you got to get rid of them then. Yeah, that's it. You're done. Have a nice life. Go work in front of a hot CNC machine for 10 hours a day. That's your fate. Sorry, you're out. You're done. You're never going to work again. You shouldn't. It is what it is. It's the drama. Next. The Crow enacts bloody revenge and new look at this year's reimagining. Oh, yes. The Crow. The Crow also comes out this year. Comes out next week, doesn't it? Don't know. God. I think so. God. Crow, no buzz. I've said that earlier in the week, too. Absolutely no buzz for The Crow. August 23rd, yeah. So next week, no buzz. There's like, I haven't even seen them out doing like the premieres or the marketing tours for it or anything. I think the studio knows that they've screwed up. And this just goes back to what I was saying about the He-Man. It's like the executives just don't understand the property and don't have the trust or they just didn't. From the sounds of it, it seems like they didn't hire the right guy to make this movie because the director, Rupert Sanders, has come out and said a couple of times, I'm not goth, but I like the first movie. Yeah, I can make your Crow movie. I don't like goth. I don't want him to be goth. I prefer, you know what? I grew up watching soccer in the UK, and now I want him to look like a football hooligan, right? It's like, what? That's not what, for God's sakes, man. No, you're fired. Get out of here. But you're stuck with it now, right? Well, we tried something different. It's like, it's kind of like making Superman movie without him flying. You're going to have the Crow movie without him being like a goth. Kind of like, well, he gets that way towards the end, James. You didn't see it. It's kind of like having the Snake Eyes movie, right? Remember that? It's like he doesn't really put on he'll become Snake Eyes at the end. He'll put the mask on at the end. It's fine. It's like, what? But he talks throughout the entire movie. At least explain why he doesn't talk, right? Or do something like that. And it doesn't ever do that. It's like for this, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit worked up here because I care about these properties. I want them to do well. And when you don't follow simple things about the property that made it popular, it makes me question as to how did this movie get made? And if you got all this money to throw around like this, why not just hire the right people to do it, to make it the way that the fans and people are going to react to, right? Why can't you just do that? And it seems like you get roped in by saying, okay, I'm going to hire this other director. And it's like, Anyway, I think that The Crow is going to be doomed to fail at the box office. Yeah, because you know what? Next week, I don't think it'll be number one. I still think that Alien Romulus is going to be like right up there. So they've been releasing some TV spots, it looks like. But will audience fall for Bill Skarsgård look on The Crow? And then you get, Skarsgård himself saying that, he wasn't happy with the way that he looked. So they released the entire clip of him coming into the opera house here, it looks like. Laying waste. Okay. Brutality, just for the sake of brutality. It almost seems like that, right? It almost seems like that. We'll have to see. All right, we got some trailers. We got some trailers to look at. Now, I already watched these trailers, so I don't really think that we need to risk a copyright claim or block like we've been doing. Amber Alert stars Hayden Panettiere, and I like this trailer. So she is like in an Uber. She gets in an Uber, and they start driving, and an Amber Alert comes across their phones, right? Look for this young girl, and it just so happens while they're coming to a stoplight, they see the car, and they're like, "Hey, 911! I think we see the vehicle." So it's kind of like a thriller, cat and mouse kind of thing, where they're like trying to chase the car for the betterment of trying to save the little girl, but they go to a house, and then of course it seems like standard run-of-the-mill thriller stuff, but I'll watch it because I do like Hayden Panettiere, and it's kind of like that movie that Halle Berry made. What was it, Cell or whatever it was called, or 911 or something like that, where she gets a 911 call from somebody locked in the trunk of the car, and they try to find them and stuff. It feels a little bit like that. This is how they want us to act when they get those Amber Alerts on our phones. Kirby is on the way. Oh, some Scream fans here. She's awesome as Kirby. Of course, the cops were useless. Closest cop is 30 minutes away. LOL sends out an Amber Alert for immediate dispatch in a large city, but the closest unit is 30 minutes away. Reminds me of the call. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. The Call with Halle Berry. There it goes. It's called The Call. Yeah. Plot twist. Julius is with the bat at the end. What? Julius? And kidnap also. Yeah, Catwoman, whatever. Simple premise. I like the trailer. It's supposed to be coming out this fall. Coming soon. Amber Alert. Tyler James Williams. It's kind of creepy. Deets, huh? All right. Who else is in that movie? A rideshare turns into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse after it follows a car fitting the description of an Amber Alert. Carrie Bellessa, writer and director. Carrie Bellessa. Wait a minute, you made this movie before in 2012? So is this a remake? What? 2012. So they remade it? Hold on here. Amber Alert, Amber Alert. So what's going on here? Let's go into a bit of a deep dive. You are her last hope. When a group of friends decides to follow a car they've posted on an Amber Alert, things just start to go wrong. Well, it seems very familiar. Who's in this movie? Chris Hill, Summer Bellessa herself. Wait a minute, hold on. Carrie Bellessa. Is that her sister or something? Summer Bellessa? Samantha Green, Jason Wade. Sounds vaguely familiar, huh? Is there a trailer for this?
I've spent most of my life putting other people.
Have to keep our eyes open. Huh. Curious. Well, you know what? You guys learn things just the same way I do, by doing research, right? Figuring these things out. Okay, so it does look like the same kind of premise in the trailer.
What is the like? Oh my gosh! Behind the camera.
But it looks like it's a little bit more of a handheld kind of thing.
Sam, you get back in the car right now! Look out for me.
Okay. So it's more of like a handheld version, found footage style Amber Alert. Well, hey, when you got a good idea, you see. No, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I like. Amber Alert was made in 2012, lower budget film, handy cam, found footage style of these people on a ride share see a car that matches the description of the Amber Alert. Didn't quite work. Don't throw it away. Why not just remake it with a better cast and a higher budget? Right? So take another swing at it. Take another crack. But this time you're going to do it with Hayden Panettiere. Kirby herself.
We're
I
doing like
say,
100 miles an hour. If he sees us, he could do something.
yes, please, in my book. Right? Hidden Pantier. Awesome. Awesome stuff. That's the way it should be done, right? What did you guys think about that trailer? Let me know in the comments below. So, The Substance debuts at TIFF Midnight Madness. Demi Moore, Dennis Quaid, Margaret
Donald
Qualley.
Trump appears
Whoops.
Ask for something new.
Yeah, so the trailer starts off with these wide-angle lenses. You know, you can tell because it warps things on the sides and it focuses things on. It's just a technique to bring in some eeriness. You get Dennis Quaid's mug right in your face. He's eating shrimp, and what's going on here? Anyway, this is a story about, yeah, there's the shrimp.
It's inevitable.
So she's like an older model, a fitness coach kind of thing, who's like losing her looks. There's this thing called the substance that will, that you inject, and then it transforms you into like a younger, hotter version of yourself. And that's what happens. So she's like, I'm old. I want to try to relive some of my glory years. She takes the substance, turns into Margaret Qualley. And as you can see, the effects are quite dazzling. What is she, in the Matrix? Are we going to see the architect here? I don't know. So it does start off like a fairly typical kind of horror setup where it's like you've taken the substance, you become intoxicated by it because you like the effects of it. But then it does seem like there is an element of body horror going on here, where I'm a little bit more intrigued about the body horror side of it. Right? What is this substance really doing to you? Is it rotting you from the inside out, or is it ruining you psychologically? Yeah, look at Dennis Quaid. He looks like he's taking it to like that weird, crazy level, right? Yeah, look at that look on his face. Has he had a bit of work done? Maybe. Just looking at the year line there. Whatever. But he saw the eyeball, right? So, the substance. Looking forward to that. I'm feeling more of a little Portrait of Dorian Gray in this. This movie's every Hollywood actor's worst nightmare when they start aging. Dennis Quaid looks less creepy here than he does in Reagan. Every Hollywood actress' worst nightmare turned into a movie. Okay, that trailer is wild. Yeah, The Substance. September 20th in theaters. Looking forward to that. And as I said, if I can get down to TIFF and see that at Midnight Madness, I'm going to try to, guys. A fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. So it's a little bit like the black goo from the Alien universe. Maybe just a little bit, right? I don't know. So there's definitely elements in there. I just hear good things about the acting. Demi Moore really goes for it. But yeah, you saw there that Margaret Qualley getting lots of praise. Fascinating. Anybody else in here that jumps off the page? No. Good stuff. Good stuff. This has debuted at other festivals, so it does have a critics score from 49 reviews, 90%. The humanity of Demi Moore's performance, the greatest of her career, gives Coralie Fargreet's boldest ideas and emotional backbeat. Yeah. Very curious about this project. Picked up by Mubi. Next. Nicolas Cage to play John Madden in sports drama from David O. Russell. What? Okay. We all know John Madden. He was a big dude. big. I don't know how that, are they going to fit him with a suit of some kind? But the thing is that John Madden had such a signature voice. How do you emulate that? Uh, I don't know, man. The way that he called games, the way that he would like highlight certain things with a certain tone and just talk like that. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if Cage can do it. Um, at least he didn't get that guy from uh, that other movie. That's what the heck is that other movie? That's what I'm thinking of. Uh, uh, who am I thinking of? Paul Walter Hauser. That's what I'm thinking of. Because that seems like the logical place to go, right? Because as I said, he's a big dude. At least you didn't get him. At least you're trying something different. Uh, David O. Russell, you guys know how I feel about him, about the way that his style of directing, trying to get things across. Uh, he, what did he do? He did Amsterdam recently, right? Silver Linings Playbook, Three Kings, yeah. We talked about him when we were talking about Clooney and their feud yesterday. Um, I don't mind some of his work. I didn't like. I like Silver Linings Playbook mostly because of Jennifer Lawrence. I like Amsterdam mostly because of Margot Robbie, and Taylor Swift was in it, so that was fun. But American Hustle was kind of like Three Kings. I know that a lot of people like it. Joy, I Heart Huckabees was his big meltdown. Like if you go watch behind the scenes stuff of I Heart Huckabees, he's like there's a behind the scenes take of him and Lily Tomlin just butting heads, and Dustin Hoffman and Jason Schwartzman are just sitting there on set listening to these two scream at each other, and it's like it's not how you make movies, man. But people still get behind David O. Russell for some reason. Anyway, they still want to work with him for some reason. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Heather Langenkamp thinks Robert Englund could still play Freddy Krueger. Really? No. He hung up his claws. Yes, he could still play him. But it's kind of like, let's read her quote here. Quote, "These fans are dying for another episode of this incredible story about Freddy and hopefully Nancy. I think it's a little bit of cold comfort to get a remastered 4K when truly in the hearts of so many people that I talked to that they really wanted is a sequel of some kind of new installment in this epic. That's the bittersweet part about this whole thing. It's so great to get something on the 40th anniversary that people can collect. So much has gone into keeping in the spirit of Nightmare on Elm Street alive. Blah, 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 blah. I've recently gone out with Englund, and he says, and he has a ton of energy. He's a person that I can barely keep up with on our jaunts around the country. If he can't do it, nobody can. That's what I like to say. Until I see him with his walker stumbling down the street, I'm pretty sure Robert Englund can play Freddy Krueger." Well, they're trying to reboot it. They're trying to retool it. I think Blumhouse is trying to get their hands on it. Yeah. Again, you know who I would give it to? Fede Alvarez. It's hard because he's proved that he did it with Evil Dead. He's done it now with Alien. He can breathe life into these new things, right? He can breathe new life into these old things with a different take, and not adding molestation into there. For God's sakes. Jackie Earl Haley deserved a better shake. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. He's too old. Do I even want to talk about this? Not really. LAPD makes multiple arrests connected with the accidental drug overdose of actor Matthew Perry. So I guess it wasn't suicide or anything like that. They've made some arrests. And this is bringing up old wounds, but I guess this is the path that we have to take to get justice. Because, yeah, he was on the right path. He was very proud of his sobriety. He fought hard to get it. And it just seemed like, what? No, that doesn't seem right. Something here doesn't add up, right? And then, of course, now we've got some arrests now linked to that. I'll keep my eye on it. It's a sensitive subject for a lot of people. So I'm like, okay, I understand that. Well, let's not dwell on it. All right. But we hope that things work out in the end. Okay. That's all I have in the can for today, guys. Thought we would just go over to the Twitterverse here, round things out. We're at 47 minutes. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Jesse Buckley, Paul Mescal, Joe Alwyn on the set of Chloe Zhao's Hamnet adaptation. Hamnet. You know how I feel about Jesse Buckley. I'll watch her in almost anything. But I forgot to say, we got to talk about the other big headline. So we'll take it from the Collider. This kind of broke yesterday as well. Eternals 2 just got an update. It's canceled. It's not going to happen. It's no longer in active development. It's because it just wasn't tied enough to the rest of the MCU, right? It was like you've got these other godlike people on the planet and they're not going to help when Thanos arrives? Seriously? They're not going to help when Ultron is like trying to destroy a big, huge part of that could have destroyed the planet. You're not going to help then? Seriously? Yeah, it just didn't add up. It didn't make sense. And it's going to, Blade is going to sort of maybe have some of the same problems of like, how do you explain that vampires have been here all along kind of thing? So, I think it's for the best. These, well, let's face it, the Eternals are not even they're not A list heroes. They're not even B list. They're not even C list. I say they're like D list. This is like the Eternals was like at the bottom of the page below, like Black Panther and Miss Marvel. Like they're below those, right? Iron Man, Spider-Man, those are like A list, right? What's B list? Blade. Yeah. So it's kind of like C list. Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel is C list, maybe. Can't turn everything. They just overreached and it didn't work. And it doesn't make sense. But I expect that the characters will show up in like Secret Wars and stuff. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Jesse Buckley. Yes, looking forward to that. The Stray Shadows. Oh, sorry, The Shadow Strays. Sorry. It follows a young assassin who breaks rank from her clandestine organization to rescue a young boy from gangsters with an ultra-violent repercussion. So it's kind of like Man on Fire, but it's a girl this time taking care of the young kid. And it's a boy. So gender swap. All right. Deadpool and Wolverine has become the highest grossing rated R film of all time, surpassing The Joker. All right. What is it worldwide? 148 billion. 1.48 billion. Right. No, 1 billion 48 million. Oh, wow. That's still a lot of cheddar. Hi. Yeah, when you get that high, it's like, what? Kudos. Good for them. Hugh Jackman on the behind the scenes. Or from Hamnet. I want to see Jesse's face. Alien Romulus has made 6.5 million from Thursday night previews. So that's about standard, I would say. On typically for Thursday night previews, 10 to 12 is high. That's why when we saw that Deadpool and Wolverine made 35 million on its Thursday night previews, we knew that it was going to make $1 billion, right? So good for that. Good tracking. I want to watch it again. There's David Johnson, not Joel. That's Joel right there. Jessie Buckley. Yeah, don't hide her face. I want to see it. First poster for Rosemary's Baby, prequel to, first poster for Apartment 7A, starring Julia Garner, September 27th on Paramount Plus. National Anthem is now on VOD. Anya Taylor-Joy sharing creative ideas on the set of Furiosa. Okay, so they're talking about what happens to Dementis there. So they're talking about ideas. What do you think the characters are going to do? That's interesting. That's cool stuff. I really like Furiosa. I don't own it on 4K. Wait, I'm losing it. That's 52 minutes. Okay, so why is the Marvels trending? Did it get canceled? The Marvels should have been about the Brood. Okay. I just want Captain Marvel to give her powers to Rogue and then pass it on. We'll go with Rogue from now on. That's what I want to see come into fruition. All right. Immaculate is now on Hulu, so it's on Disney Plus now. Immaculate, I like that movie. It's a good movie. Like McQueen, I don't know what that is. Alien Romulus, David Johnson on the animatronic xenomorphs. They'd come on set with these fully built xenomorphs, and they'd be like, want to see the heart, and you'd be like, this beating sack inside of them. Oh wow. Yeah, the visual effects going back to practical models instead of CGI stuff. Now, did it work? Yeah, it did. Probably cut down on budget too, because you pay the artists to make the models and stuff, like the animatronics and stuff. But you know what the beauty of it is that once you got it all in camera, you don't have to do a lot in post. Color correction, cropping, zooming, cutting. That's all you really. Yeah. It's the way to go. British GQ. Happy birthday to James Cameron. Maria starring Angelina Jolie. 2024 Telluride Film Festival. The Brutalist. Queer. Venice. Joker is much darker than the first film. It is much more inventive from every point of view. It's completely unexpected. It's very bold, brave, creative, and an incredibly original film. Good. As so it should be. All we imagine is light. Okay. Wow. Halle Berry says she's broken at least 10 bones throughout her career filming stunts. Arm broken ribs twice, 2 ribs at one time, 3 ribs on another, broken tailbone, broke 2 toes, my middle finger. Aye. Wow. Again, she's one of those people that like really dives into the roles, even when it's Catwoman. She gave it her all. That's why I like Halle Berry. She's awesome. Austin Butler cites About Time as one of the films that made him cry the most. That movie crushed me. That's Tatum, right? Rachel McAdams, where she gets like head trauma, coma or something. When she comes out of the coma, she doesn't remember him, but she remembers her first boyfriend or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that one is, I like that one too, right? All right. Then we're back to Alien Romulus. Oh, happy birthday to Angela Bassett. Cool. Alien Romulus. That brings us full circle. All right, guys, what did you think about some of the stories today? Did you like my review? Do you want? Let me know in the comments, and we will talk about it. There's really not that much more out there that I can see going on. I'll just check my subscriptions to see if a new trailer dropped. Nice to Quit trailer has dropped. Man. So, I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon playing some guitar, recording. I'm back in full recording mode. Spend all afternoon recording before I went to see Romulus. It's tough, man. It's tough because you take one take of something and you're like, it sounds good, but it's not the best. Do you want to push for perfection? I hate that part of it. Here's the song. I played it. There you go. You hear what you hear. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. We'll see. It's a process. You don't just sit down ever, really. Play this song once through. And say, oh, yeah, that's good. I like that. No, and then you try to, yeah, anyway. It's a process. So we'll see. We'll have fun. I'll release the music as we go along, either on this page or on the music page. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. All right. Thumbs up, guys. See you next time. Enjoy Alien Romulus this weekend. See you on Monday.